Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Patrick here with VectorVest. In the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of headlines talking about inflation, which has caused a lot of fear out there for individual investors that may be justified, may not be justified. Only time will tell on that one. But I thought, with all the fear going on about possible inflation coming into the economy over the next few years or so, or even more, what better time than to help you guys get prepared to be able to handle that kind of situation. So if inflation is something that you are worried about, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, talk to me in the comments down below, and stick around as we show you how to make money or even hedge your portfolio against the potential rise in inflation in the foreseeable future. All right, so if you're still around, that means you're worried about inflation, and that's why we're going to show you how to take advantage of it by using one of the most traditional, easiest methods around to be able to offset inflation fears in your own portfolio, or just simply turn a profit on those kind of stocks that would benefit from inflation. So as you can see right in front of me, I've got the Huey up. If you're not familiar with it, it's the Gold Bugs Index. VectorVest analyzes the Gold Bugs Index every single Monday in our nightly recap video that we do for you. If you want to see this and you want to stay on top of the gold trade, and for longer term perspective, you want to make sure that you're in the right times and that you get out at the right times, make sure to click on the link in the description of the video here today, and you can sign up for a trial of VectorVest right away, and you can get this kind of information and insight every single day. All right, so I'm not going to get into the whole working of the gold bugs and how we track it and what these indicators mean. We're going to keep it simple for you because that's really what VectorVest is all about. The way we look at this is we have a red line and a green line at the top, and then a red shaded area at the bottom. So from a very simplistic standpoint, when the green line goes above the red line, that's a good thing. Also on the bottom side of the graph, when the red area graph goes above that level of 1, that shows the short-term trend is up as well. And this is a moving average of that. So it's looking at a little bit of a longer-term perspective of it. But really, all you need to remember is that when you see the green line go above the red line at the top and the red shaded area at the bottom go above the level of 1, that tells us it's a good long-term opportunity to buy gold. Well, as you probably know, or maybe you don't, gold is one of the most traditional ideas of where to go or where investors go when they start getting spooked by inflation fears. That's because gold has been the currency of the world ever since before economies really started back in BC and AD times. So therefore, there's always a human nature to want to flock to gold whenever there's talks about inflation fears. Well, over the last couple of weeks, we have had those fears start to pop up in the main headlines of the media. And look here, we've seen a good buy opportunity starting on gold just within the last couple of weeks. So with that, now that we have an idea of where we're at, the general topic of what we're going to be covering here today, let's highlight some of the top popular gold stocks and see how VectorVest makes it easy to analyze them. And then we're going to highlight specifically B2Gold stock because it's been one of the most popular names as of late. And also they did just have a pretty good earnings report. And we're going to take a look at that and see how that affected the price of the stock up until now. So with that, what we'll do is we'll just close out of here, get right into a custom list that I built of some of the more popular names, some of the safest stocks based on VectorVest analysis, some of the stocks with the best long-term potential. So you have a nice mix of all these different types of gold stocks. And this is the great thing about VectorVest. Instead of just looking at a whole bunch of stocks one after another, most likely in alphabetical order, VectorVest will automatically bring the best stocks to the top of the list and the worst stocks all the way at the bottom of the list. So therefore, makes it easier on you, saves you a lot of time. We do the work and you get to reap the profits. The great thing about the VectorVest watch list though is not only do we automatically bring the best performers to the top for you, but you can also do some quick rank analysis to help find stocks or find the stocks in a certain area that may be more suited for your individual investment style. For example, right now we have it based on VST, which is great if you're more of a prudent trader, a swing trader, somebody that's, not necessarily super aggressive trading for a day or two, but looking to get in for nice swing trade opportunities. But if you're somebody who is more long-term oriented, VectorVest makes finding those stocks that you'd be most interested in as simple as a click of the mouse. So we have our 4 indicators, RV, RS, RT, which I'm not going to spend too much time on getting familiar with them. If you want to find out more information, just head over to our Facebook page every Thursday as I do a mobile stream on the VectorVest Stock Advisory app. And at the very end, I always analyze your stocks for you and show you how you can do the same in less than 10 seconds. So the RS indicator is simply an indicator of risk. It's a fundamental indicator. By simply clicking on the RS column header at the very top, we can automatically find the stocks with the best RS right there for us. So SBSW, not familiar with the company too much. From some of the bigger names, it's one that's not usually highlighted in some of the major headline news articles about gold and silver, but it's more of a sleeper, if you will. It has some of the best fundamentals out of all of the gold and silver mining industry. And you can see here, it is doing extremely well. Its price is around $19.20 a share. Its value is at $33.83, so you're getting a bargain for it. Has great long-term potential by looking at the RV, and once again, has some of the most solid fundamentals out of the gold and silver mining industry. Well, if you're not more long-term oriented, maybe you're more short-term oriented, looking at more momentum plays, and still want to take advantage of the gold and silver trades, well, just simply sort it by RT. RT is that short-term price trend indicator for you, and automatically it'll bring HL and then Kirkland Lake, another big name, right to the top of the list, showing you which stock has the most momentum currently out of any stock in this list currently. You can customize these lists, you can build them on your own, all of that. That's the real power of VectorVest, is it allows you to do some quick, easy analysis to get the answers you're looking for, rather than just having to go through scads of data trying to make those same answers on your own or come up with those same answers on your own. So as we can see, HL, one of the hottest momentum plays out of the gold and silver industry currently. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we did want to take a look at B2G because that has been the name that's been hot recently. They've had a lot of publicity. They just had a pretty good earnings announcement, which, speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the headlines that we've seen just by going to Yahoo Finance and pulling that up. So about 2 weeks ago, they did report their strong Q1 results. If we go ahead and click on that, we can get a full in-depth analysis. You guys can do this on your own. I'm not going to get too much into it today, but you can see pretty strong. Everything is looking pretty good. The company is making money, and money goes where money grows. If a company is making money, that's where investors are going to put their money into to make money along with them. But as we can see, when we get back to the VectorVest analysis, getting back into the software, sorting it by RS, that fundamental indicator, because yes, they had a good earnings performance, but how are they doing long term? Are they able to do that quarter over quarter, year over year? And as we can see, it's not one of the best, or it's not the best. It's top 3 out of this specific list, about top 20 out of the whole entire field or industry itself. But overall, there are better options if you're looking for more fundamental choice there. But at the same time, overall, it has good long-term potential. It has decent risk involved with it, so less risk involved with it. Well, a little bit more than the average stock out there, but in its field, better than the average performer in the gold and silver industry. And then RT at 1.29 tells us it is in a nice steady uptrend. So this is a good run-of-the-mill stock, a good stock to play for the gold and silver industry. But if you're just happy with getting the run-of-the-mill stock, then that's fine. B2G could definitely be a good opportunity for you. VectorVest can help you find those stocks that are even better than that, so that way you get the best of the best and not just taking mediocre, if you will. But as we said, we were going to analyze B2G. So let's go ahead, we'll pull up a graph of it, take a look at that, and see what the graph tells us as well. Because I'm not super bearish on it. I like the stock. It's a good stock. We see some decent analysis on it. Once again, strong RV, RS, RT, VST, all of that has a buy rating right now. It is currently undervalued, so that's a good thing. You're getting a bargain for it still. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the chart, see what the chart tells us. Because as we say here at VectorVest, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a chart is simply a big picture of the stock. So if I go ahead and pull it up, I do like seeing this. Once again, this is the layout that we use for gold. We call it our Midas touch layout. And what we see here is the green line starting to cross above that red line on a longer term basis as of today. Also, the red area graph at the bottom is just starting to come up right below that level of 1. So if it continues to move higher, we could see that cross above that level of 1, which would give us that final confirmation. But if we open it up, put on price here, we can see just about 2 weeks ago was right about here, started moving up higher, getting some momentum build up, had some earnings worries, saw it trending sideways, but then you have this nice support resistance zone right around 530 a share. Hit that today, try to break above it, pulling back right now just by a couple of cents, nothing to worry about. But if we can break above that 530 level, that could be huge on a short-term basis. A lot of people would see that, and that could drive the price higher in a very short period of time. We can see this has been a pretty strong support level all the way throughout the last year or so. Hit it once, bounced off, finally broke below that right at the beginning of January, trended lower, and now retesting that new support or resistance level, if you will. But as I mentioned earlier, money goes where money grows. And this company had a good earnings performance. Earnings is the engine that drives stock prices higher over time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the earnings of B2G. Put it on here. Nice steady rise from bottom left to upper right like a stair-step pattern. Here at VectorVest, that is exactly what we favor. So if you're looking for solid earnings, B2G definitely has it. Also, the VectorVest earnings, as I've stated in multiple videos in the past, doesn't just look at performance from historical analysis and just looking at their current reports that they put out. It's also taking into account future performance and what analysts expect them to do over the next 12 months. So when you see this indicator rising, that tells you they're not only making money now and in most recent past, but they're also expected to continue to make money 12 months down the road. This is a huge benefit that VectorVest subscribers get that you won't be able to find anywhere else. So what are your favorite gold stocks? Or one of your favorites in this list that we saw here today? If not, let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to get a whole listing of gold stocks to see how they all add up. And you guys could see the power of VectorVest and how they add up compared to some of the other stocks in that same industry that you may not be familiar with. All right, so let's get back into that list. We see a decent chart. We see a new uptrend starting with B2G. That's definitely a good sign. On a longer term basis, we're almost getting that full buy opportunity or buy signal based off this Huey or based off this Midas touch analysis. We also see they have good earnings, which is what you want to see being a long buyer of any stock. But let's go back. Take a look, as we mentioned before, SBSW has the highest RS rating out of all the gold and silver mining industry stocks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart of that one real quick, just to get an idea of how that compares when looking at B2G. So look at that price action. Even throughout the beginning of this year, SBSW has been steadily rising instead of falling like we've seen with a lot of gold and silver stocks. Based off the Midas touch layout that we mentioned earlier, we see a nice steady buy opportunity, and it's still a buy as of today even. And then looking at the earnings, not as jumpy or not as consistent, but we do see a big jump right between October to November and then steadily maintaining that. And that is definitely a strong thing. That shows that, once again, the company is making money. Obviously, its price is showing that as well. And major analysts expect them to continue to make money as well. Out of that, this is a great list to go to if you're looking for some gold and silver stocks, but As always, if you're looking to do more analysis on the whole entire gold and silver industry, the mining industry itself, click on the link in the description of today's video and sign up now and take advantage of it yourself. You can do this same kind of analysis not only with this small basket, but with the whole entire industry or your own personal picks as well. So once again, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope this helps get the ball rolling or get those wheels turning on some good ideas on how to handle that inflationary fear that we're seeing right now in the headlines. So that way it can help you sleep better at night and spend less time at the computer so you can go do things you'd much rather be doing than managing your portfolio all day long. So until the next one, take care, adios, have a good one.